Prop 13. Prop 13 is being put back on the butcher block, and basically what is being looked at, which has been discussed for the last couple of years, is commercial real estate. And what they're proposing is putting on the 2020 ballot a measure that would modify Prop 13 protections for commercial properties. Essentially, Prop 13 is, in very quick terms, rent control for your property taxes. So it limits the countywide property tax to 1%, and with a 2% yearly increase as it's assessed by the tax assessor for each county. Now, what they're looking to do is remove that protection from commercial properties and basically be able to tax them at an increased value. They're discussing They're discussing this could potentially bring in an extra $6 to $10 billion in revenue, which 40% would be earmarked for schools. There's a lot of debate on this because obviously one of the big concerns is, well, commercial buildings cover office space, it covers retail, and retail sector right now is hurting very badly. Retail sector is suffering because you have a lot of people going online to shop on Amazon. Even Walmart, Target are really pushing their online stores. And so as people are going online to buy products, buy what they need, they're not really going into the brick and mortar shops to buy those same products. Because of that, you have a lot of retail centers that are losing business, that are seeing businesses close down because they can't survive in this day and age. And now you're going to add additional property taxes to a building owner. And how is that going to be calculated? Is that going to be calculated based on the current tenants and the revenue, or are they going to calculate it based on as if it was 100% fully occupied and generating? So there's a lot of questions here too.
Well, and again, just to put things in context, this is something that very, very specifically affects me, right? I mean, and again, let's put things in context with Proposition 13. A lot of it you hear with respect to single-family homeowners, right? You bought a property 10 years ago, your property taxes don't go up substantially. And in fact, property taxes only usually go up substantially when the next person buys it, right? So example, you buy something for 100 grand, your property taxes are based on 100 grand with a moderate 2% rental increase annually on that, versus somebody who bought it from you for 500,000. Now they're going to be paying property taxes based on 500,000 because it's reassessed. At that point, there's actually a realized gain of $400,000. Now, in the context of office building owners, even with no sale occurring, so there's no realized gain that actually occurred, they're just talking about increasing the property taxes regardless every 3 years for the simple fact that they believe the property went up. And the fact is that the property probably did go up in value, right? I mean, you're going to say, oh, you're going to owe more taxes on it. We're going to reassess you as though you sold it or you just bought it because your property's worth more. And the fact is it probably did go up in value because as rents are slowly creeping up, even with retail, because you got the consumer price per index that's usually attached to the price per square foot, again, and values will go up. It doesn't mean that you actually got that money in hand. You didn't actually sell the property, liquidate cash to which a taxable event could occur and to which somebody had done their calculations on the higher purchase price. It's an unrealized gain, and I'm wholeheartedly opposed to the idea. I don't know how far I'll get in opposing it because, again, you gotta keep in mind that in order to oppose laws like this, especially like with single-family protections for Prop 13, there's a lot of single-family homeowners.
Now,
not so many commercial business owners.
And another thing to keep in mind with commercial office space is that many buildings, especially the large buildings, are set up with CAM charges. Now, what these CAM charges are is where the building owner takes all their total expenses and they divide up those expenses amongst the tenants that are currently there, and the tenants pay based on a percentage of their square footage plus common area that services their square footage. So what happens is this property tax if it increases, there's many building owners that already bill that back to the actual tenants, the businesses inside of their office suites.
And that's if they bill it back. Sometimes they don't bill it back. They're just a gross rent or a gross lease.
Yeah, and so if these property owners are billing the property taxes that are now increased back to all the tenants, well, guess what? They're going to have higher fees to pay, and some businesses may not survive.
All in all, we think it's a bad idea.